are you really living? You might be alive, but you're not really living. Yeah, what would you be doing if you're not afraid? And ironically, it's going to kind of scare you, and it's supposed to, and hopefully scare you in a good way of like, damn, like, I can't live the rest of my life not being this version of myself that's out there.
Kill Complacency, a podcast that inspires growth and intentionality and helps you overcome your greatest obstacles.
This is the second half of the podcast with the Fear Guy. Hope this is helpful to you guys in your journey through life as you seek to kill complacency and live intentionally. Have you read the book Who Moved My Cheese?
I haven't, but I know it's an OG.
Yeah, so
The classic.
The classic. And you're the question that you were asked is something like, what would you do if you could not fail, right?
Yep.
So in that book, Spencer Johnson talks about everyone, well, he passed away, but he talked about that when people would have him autograph it, they would always have him autograph a certain page. And the question on the page is, what would you do if you were not afraid?
Mm-hmm.
And it's about change. The book is about change and how you adapt to change. But for sure, I've listened to the book maybe 2-3 times, and that one always gets me because we let fear control us way more than we think, you know.
Oh, for sure, bro.
It's all kinds of things.
Yeah, and like there's nothing wrong with that, right? Is like even like I'm very open, like, yeah, of course there's still fears I'm, evolving through. Like that's the whole point of life. Like if I didn't feel fear, like like what am I doing here?
Well, you wouldn't be human, right?
Exactly. And so it's like it's embracing the human part of us. And again, just using it as like, ooh, like, yeah, like what would I do if I wasn't afraid? That's basically like when someone comes into my world through courses or coaching or whatever, like we actually really dive into that question like at the beginning, but we don't just gloss over it, or you don't just write one sentence. It's like we basically, an entire session or an entire week into that, because if you really breathe and like give space to that question, like I dare everyone listening just to kind of like just think about that question for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, and you will see probably like how much would actually change. And people always come back to me all the time like, wow, like I didn't realize how much my life I was been living in fear. I'm like, yeah, because you're unconscious to it. And that's the whole point, right? Like until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you'll call it fate. So it's like, oh, I just thought I was doing the smart, logical thing. It's like, no, you're living in fear.
Well, and it's limitations, like you said. And when you if you were to journal about that for an hour, you would come up with several pages of things that are limiting beliefs that you're allowing fear to hold you back on.
Yeah. And honestly, like I revisit those questions like every once in a while because it's like, yeah, like we all get stuck. It's like we get shrinked, right? Like the world just kind of like crushes us slowly and slowly, like just by rejection and disappointment and all the embarrassment and like whatever. And so like every once in a while we just have to like burst and like, bust our paradigm open and be like, oh, like no, like this is what I really believe in. This is what's possible.
And don't you think too, I mean, you could come up with a list of things you fear today, and 6 months from now, you would have a new list, right? Potentially.
Yes and no, right? It's like some might be similar and maybe it's just a different word, to the same thing. You might be describing it differently, but for sure, I mean, I'd hope that they're different because that means you're progressing, but for some people, they might be the exact same for years.
Okay. Yeah. And do you see that with people that as you're coaching them that obviously they've had XYZ happen to them when they were younger, and that's been paralyzing in all these ways their whole life? If they fix that one, does it just a whole new world to them?
Yeah, I mean, it's like yes and no. For the simple answer, yes, it's a whole new world. But like you said, in 6 months, right, is like now that new world is your normal. And so what my whole thing is, right, is to give you tools for a lifetime. And so it's like, hey, like it's not about just like doing this once and then I'm never afraid again and I'm good forever. It's like, no, is like, how can you walk through this experientially so you know when the doubt, the fear, the
Mm-hmm.
stress, the worry pops up, that you know, like, oh, I can handle this, and here's how I move through it. And that's essentially, what I love to support people in. So it's like they can just do that again and again and again and again.
Yeah. And that's where the live intentionally comes in, right? Because it's proactive steps that you're taking day to day to face the fear, right?
Yes, for sure. What do I want to say? Immensely intentional.
Immensely intentional.
Intentionally intentional.
That's good. Intentionally intentional. Um, Overcoming fear is something anybody can do, right? It's
For
not
sure.
limited to Ben Harris or people in Austin, Texas. I mean, it's for anybody and everybody, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is, yes. And like, I will say, like, I have, like, anyone in America for sure, right? But like, it's a different story, like if you're obviously like in like a communist country where it's like,
Sure.
so like I'm like, because some people it's like, well, you can't do that, and I was like, well, yeah, like we get it, but like for the people who are listening to this podcast, yes, it's possible.
Yeah. How about this, Ben? Do certain personality types lean more toward fears, or do some personalities just mask it differently?
That's exactly right. So it masks differently, and like it might just seem as more helpful, like what I mentioned earlier, right? Of someone who just like
Mm-hmm.
bulldozes through fear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and those are typically people that I tend to work with, because it's like they've gotten so far by just like bulldozing through it, but
Mm-hmm.
then they realize like, oh, this isn't the way I want to live the rest of my life. Like, I do have to be more intentional. I want to be more loving.
Okay.
I want to be caring more, like maybe take it slower. I was like, and not just like, oh, I'm gonna do it. But that's obviously that served them for a long time, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
serving them in the way that they'd like to anymore. And
Yeah.
so it's just, yeah, designing life in the way that you want to.
But you do definitely see that it's not some personality. I mean, everyone has fear, right? It's not,
Yes.
I'm exempt from it. You're not.
No, I mean, I'll be like, even people who have come up to me and said I'm fearless, like whenever someone tells me that, I just like kind of chuckle, and I say like, you're actually like, it's mixed, because it's like, because you believe that you are, right? Which is kind of funny, right? It's kind of works, but really they're just trying to convince themselves that they are,
Mm,
right? And like, that's not wrong. Like, if you believe it, go for it. Like, we're all telling ourselves a delusional story about who we are anyway.
yeah. At least you
But at
have
the
that
same
identity.
time, yeah, it's like, but like whenever someone tells me that, I'm like, ah, like you're actually really afraid.
Mm,
You're just too afraid to admit it.
mm,
Like the bravest, most secure people can say, yeah, I'm afraid, and
yeah.
I still do it, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Because the guy that doesn't want to admit the fear is probably afraid of being real, right?
Yeah, it's a vulnerability thing, right? Because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not supposed to be weak. I'm not supposed to be emotional. Is like it again. It serves us, right? Like biologically and evolutionarily. Like it's like, especially men, but everyone is like, we're not supposed to be vulnerable. Like we always have to be strong. Like we can't expose weakness. Like you
Mm,
literally, like in order to survive, ironically, because that's what fear is supposed to prevent, is death. And you can't be afraid, right? You can't show weakness to your enemies on the battlefield. So it's like, that is in our DNA to not feel it. But
yeah.
now, right, it's like that stuff is for the most part gone. Like we don't have to worry about those threats anymore. So it's like, yeah, the more vulnerable you can actually be, and more honest and more truthful and more loving, like that actually makes you more fearless. And it's completely
Mm,
backwards the way people think.
mm. And it makes you fearless because you're accepting it
Yeah, right. It's like, what's
and
more
you're
brave?
working through
Someone
it.
who's avoiding it, or someone who's like actually looking at it in the eye and being truthful and accepting it and
Yeah.
talking, right? Like that's much more brave.
That makes me think honestly a little bit of the Braveheart movie when he gives that big speech. You know,
Yeah.
they're outnumbered and they're going to die. I don't remember what he says, but
Freedom.
But he doesn't tell them that they're not going to get hurt. I mean, he tells them we're going to give our lives today for our country. And that was the rallying charge that they picked the fight and they won because, I mean, it is exactly what you said. It was empowering to openly admit that they were outnumbered and outmanned and outweaponed, but they had heart.
Yeah, and it's like I'm getting chills as you say that. That's cool because it's like again, right? It's counterintuitive of like this gets pretty spiritual and in depth if you want to, but it's like accepting death, right? Like that's the whole point of it, right? Is like that's what we're like. Of course, you don't want to die, right? That's like the ultimate unknown. That's the ultimate like obliteration of the ego. Like there's no like we can't grasp onto it, and so like the ego needs certainty, and definitions and identities. But it's like yeah, like once you accept death, it's like you become pretty powerful because it's like because you are accepting every outcome, right? Just like you said in that
Yes.
battle scene, right? Is like they're not fighting for their life anymore because they're not afraid of losing it. So it's this weird counterintuitive thing of like getting that freedom.
Yeah. Have you heard of a book called Tuesdays with Morrie?
No.
I want to say it's in the 90s, maybe 80s, but it kind of took America by storm, his story, because it's exactly what you said. He embraced death. I can't remember what he was dying from, but it was some kind of disease that starts in your legs and work its way up, and you end up you end up suffocating to death.
Jeez.
But he was a professor in college, and one of his students came and every Tuesday would spend it with Morrie. And the guy was a journalist and so documented it, but he got on, it wasn't 2020, but it was something like that, ABC News, and they would see him at week 1 and then week 12. But it was because Morrie was embracing death. There was so many gold nuggets in there about
I'm gonna look that up.
what he was feeling and thinking. I think there's a movie on it too, but the book it's a short book, but it's deep because Morrie has embraced death and he's okay with dying and he's okay with even publishing this to America, and letting America, watch him pass.
Dude, I appreciate you sharing that. And it's like, obviously that's the extreme level, but we can apply that to ourselves, right? Of like, that's what fear is to do, right? Is to prevent death. But what it's actually doing is preventing life.
Oh, amen. Yeah.
Right?
So good.
So if you sit with that, right? Of like,
so limiting.
Yeah. It's literally the limiting, right? Emotion, program, condition, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, because we're always dying, right? It's going back to that identity thing. That's why we call it identity death in so many forms, right? So it's like, once you accept death, that's when you become free. That's when you become reborn. That's when you can just trust and flow and surrender and all the things. And the same thing with like, even whatever thing you were mentioning earlier about being on the call earlier with your accountability group.
Yeah.
Is like, you've accepted death, AKA whatever outcome happens.
Yeah.
Right? Because in our mind, that's what it is, right? Is like something bad happens and that equals death. That's all it is. Like it's a binary computer, ones and zeros, right? Zero, you live or you die. And so if you can't predict it, if it's something different than what you're familiar with, then it equals death and you need to be protected from it and avoid it at all costs. But if you completely accept it, then that's when life really starts to open up and blows you away in every imaginable scenario.
If you want to wear a billboard of a message of kill complacency or live intentionally, then check out my merch store. It's www.mindsetshop.com. Mindset is with an X, so it's MINDXET shop, SHOP.com. Mindsetshop.com. And that's why some guys are really good at sales calls, right? Because they're okay with being rejected and They know that it's life. They know that they got to have, it's a numbers game and it's 10 rejections and one sale. And so it's how many phone calls can I get done to get the 10 sales in a sense. But it's exactly what you said. It's the life.
Yeah. You're just accepting any outcome.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but
Rather,
it's, go ahead.
go ahead. Rather
Well,
than the guy, it's like, oh, I don't want to make a call. They're going to reject me. He's already dead. He's done.
see, and that's what you even just said. You're already dead. So I want that to sink in, right? Is like, are you really living?
Mm.
No. You might be alive, but you're not really living. It's like, yeah, what would you be doing if you're not afraid? Like, yeah, I encourage everyone to journal on that. Like, start, like, really, like, it's gonna, and ironically, it's gonna kind of scare you, and it's supposed to, and hopefully scare you in a good way of like, damn, like, I can't live the rest of my life like not being this version of myself that's out there, you know? And so fear can be a really good thing, you know, in the sense of like, woo, like, I can't imagine not doing this. And that's, you know, what has motivated me too. Like, again, like the question of what would you do if it's impossible to fail? Like, well, I know the outcome if I stay. I was like, I'm miserable. I'm unhappy. I know my salary. But if I leave, it's like, yes, I might fail,
Mm-hmm.
but if I stay, I automatically fail. And that's what people don't realize, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
fear creates the exact outcome that you don't want to have happen. So if I never try it, I always fail, which is again backwards, right? Because like I'm not doing the thing because I don't want to fail, but I'm
Yeah.
already failing, but it's by my choice. So it's like the only chance to succeed is if you take the risk of failure or rejection or judgment or abandonment or whatever else you're afraid of.
Ben, what other labels does fear have?
Oh man, bro, so many. I literally have like a glossary.
Because we call it different. I mean, you said anxiety, fear, rejection. I mean, there's all kinds of.
Yeah, so it's like anytime you feel like, anytime you don't feel like completely confident or trusting or faithful, you know, it's like it's because it's fear creeping in. And again, it's not a bad thing. It's like it's always there. But yeah, worry, stress, anxiety, overthinking, overwhelm, feeling
Mhm.
stuck, procrastination is a big one. Overworking is a big one. A lot of quote unquote positive things are actually just, you know, avoidance
Mhm.
responses because we're afraid of something. Um, Overconfidence, that's a big one. Um, and I mean, and then like it's crazy because it's like the complete opposite could be true for someone else, right? Where it's
Okay.
like complete insecurity, which is, you know, just a fear. And someone's
Hmm.
like grandiose confidence could be a fear. So it
Hmm.
completely depends on the person. But yeah, just essentially anytime you are not doing what you want to be doing, it's because you're afraid.
Hmm. Anytime you need to eat that frog.
Yeah. Like if you feel resistance or hesitance, you know it's fear.
Mm. Um, you mentioned one book earlier, The 50th Law.
Yep.
What would be your most influential book? Is that it, or would you say this is the best book other than that?
I mean, I wouldn't like say that now, but I mean, back when I was 19 for
Yeah.
sure. Um, One that I'm reading right now, I haven't even finished it yet. It's completely even kind of different off topic, but it's called The Amazing Development of Men.
Mm.
And honestly, dude, like I've gotten emotional just listening to that book. And it's written by a woman who's actually, the book is supposed to be originally for women to understand men, but
Really?
then it was so well received by men that she kind of like did a revised version. And it just has helped me understand, even in like my relationship and just so many ways. I'm like, I just feel understood and feel seen. And then like
Mm.
if you have your wife or partner listen to it, like it's gonna like just it's gonna help a lot because I won't say much just because like when someone recommended the book to me, when someone recommended the book to me, I was like, dude, why are you so like shook up by this book? Like, and you just have to go give it a chance. It's only like 2.5 hours
Mm.
and just listen
I'll,
to it and like
I'll
go
for sure
through it.
check it out.
Yeah, it's really good.
The Amazing Development of Men.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to check it out. Um, you got one message to share to the world, Ben. What's your what's your message? Is it no fear?
It'd be the opposite, right?
I know.
It'd be like love your fear. Like
Mm,
it'd be embrace your fear. It would be like don't kill it. Like don't, because like that's actually just more fear, right? And like fear can't eradicate fear, if that makes sense. Only love can eradicate fear. So it's like
that's profound.
the more you fight your fear, the more fearful you actually become. And so what I would
What?
encourage really everyone to do is like, yeah, just get curious and start listening and start softening and courageously acknowledge your fear step by step. It doesn't mean you have to go, to the complete extreme. I'm like, I'm going to go bungee jumping tomorrow. Like you can, if you want. That's a fun way to start practicing those things. But yeah, just get curious of like, what is my fear trying to tell me? It's actually like literally like what we've already talked about. It's like, it's a whisper from your soul. Like, please do this thing. Like, this is what you're meant for. This is who you're supposed to be. This is what you're capable of. Like, just imagine, like, and reflect on that question of like, who would I be? What would I do if I wasn't afraid?
Mhm.
Because that's your truth. Like, that's who you're born to be.
And that's the curiosity, right?
Yeah.
And
Like,
that
listen to it.
on your LinkedIn, you've got a quote: "Everything you desire is on the other side of fear. Learn
Yep.
how to overcome fear with love and curiosity."
Yeah.
But what'd you say? Love is the love fixes all fear. That's not what you said, but
I said, like, so I said, fear can't eradicate fear,
Mhm.
right? They can't, like, you can't cross it out, right? It's like,
Yeah,
and I wouldn't even say eradicate, but in that moment I said only love can eradicate fear
that's what you said. Only love.
because that's the antidote to it. And you can replace any word with that, right? Like curiosity, trust,
Hmm.
faith, belief, like safety, like whatever you want to kind of like what is your antidote to fear? Like,
Hmm.
and it could change depend on the moment. But again, right, like even just talking about this, I mean, ironically, right, people are afraid of fear. Like I've had people tell me like, Ben, I've literally avoided your content because I'm afraid. Because of like it's going to reveal something that they don't want to know about themselves. But it's like
Mm.
if you can keep avoiding that, you end up in the same miserable stuck place. Like you do.
Mm.
And so the only way to get out of it, to get what you want and to be free is through the fear. Like there's no other way.
Mm. That's so good. That's so good.
Like I mean, look at it as like if you stay where you are, you know the outcome.
Yeah,
Stay stuck, you stay miserable. So the only way is into the unknown, is into the scary place. That's not hard. It's like it's simple,
that's that's
but it is
so
hard.
yeah. That's so similar to that book, Who Moved My Cheese, because that's what
Mm.
it's all about. It's about noticing change and then moving forward with it and having to face your fear along the way.
Yeah, I mean it's that simple. That's really all life is.
Yeah.
It's like where do I feel scared? Okay, let me get curious about it. You
Hmm.
do that over and over and over again. Like you don't even just your life will just you'll look back one day and be like, whoa, this is crazy.
That's cool. People want to follow you. It's pretty much the fear guy, right?
Yeah, dude. So you can Google the fear guy. You can go to LinkedIn, the fear guy. My real name is Ben Harris. You can go on
Hmm.
Instagram if that's your jam. I have a podcast. I haven't been doing it recently. I took a break from it in the past. It's already June. I mean, 6 months. It's been a long time, but it's called The Fear Alchemist. I mean, there's so many good things on there that you can go check out. Like I even coach people on my podcast quite a bit.
Hmm.
So you can go listen to my style. I have a YouTube. And if you're interested in coaching or just talking, just hit me up on LinkedIn and we can chat about what's scary. And it's, I promise, and here I'll say this too, like it's easier than you think it is. And that's one thing I always hear is like, whoa, like this was so much more simple and easier than I thought. And like, again, right. Cause like, it's like what fear is like your rearview mirror, right? Of like objects are
Hmm.
closer than they appear. It just
Hmm.
magnifies it into this big scary thing.
Mm.
but really it's just like a small little speck. And then like once you have the right tools and the right mindset and awareness, like you just move through it. Just
Yeah. That's so cool. Well, thank you so much. I'm excited about this. I think it really aligns well with living intentionally and killing the complacency, killing the fear,
yeah, bro,
and
for sure.
making the most out of life rather than just staying in our easy, easy lane.
Yeah, and like there's this other quote I remember, you've probably heard this, of like hard choices equal easy life, easy choices equal
Hmm.
hard life. The same thing, right? Is
Hmm.
like your life actually becomes easier the more you eat the frog, the more you do the thing that you're afraid of, or like whatever
Yeah.
the thing is like, so it actually just becomes really simple. Like it's just really a binary choice of like, oh, do I want my life to be easier? Like I do. I for sure like two hands raised. And so that's what actually motivates me to do the hard thing.
And it's
It's
so
like
true.
it's not actually the hard thing when you think of it that way. It's like, oh, it's
Hmm.
actually the easy thing now.
Yeah. Yeah. Becomes easy. That's so good.
Or easier, we'll say.
Well, you learn how to handle hard better and you're, you level up. And
Exactly.
what was so hard and so scary now is, easier.
Just another
And,
Tuesday
and just another Tuesday. Yep.
with Morty. With
Yep. I when I started talking about doing a podcast, someone asked me, "What are you going to call?" And I said, "Tuesdays with Marty." And that was when they told me, "Oh, there's a book called Tuesdays with Maury. You need to look at it." And
really?
that's how I looked it up. Yep.
Oh wow, look at that. See, that's cool.
So, but it was
Interesting. So that's a little nugget. I'm definitely supposed to read it.
yeah, I guess so. So, well, thank you so much, Ben.
Yeah, dude. Marty, I appreciate you. And like just so everyone knows, it is a Tuesday.
It is.
So
Yep.
it's nice to spend a Tuesday with Marty.
Just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values, and something in it today triggered something, then you can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives to kill the complacency with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways which I get sucked in all the time. So if this is beneficial, follow me there.